everybody. So it seems like every time I want to start recording for a possible YouTube channel, I'm wearing my sleeping cap, and maybe that's a good thing because as I heard a recent sort of spiritual religious sermon discuss, if you're a person of spirituality, you should either wear a patchwork coat to kind of show people what's on the inside, or dress, totally naked to show that you're just, playing a game and it's all for fun. So it just kind of works out that way, and that's okay. And this is, what it is. So I just wanted to make a video. I've been, planning on thinking about making a YouTube channel for a while because I don't have all the answers, but I think that I have some important things to say. And I was stimulated to make this video right now while watching part of Sha'Carri Richardson's video speaking out on the Today Show about failing her drug test after her 100-meter race, which she won fairly. And watching her have to apologize and lose her opportunity to kind of move on to the Olympics. And I don't want to use this as, taking away her shine for my, whatever happens on YouTube with how people get paid and whatever. I will be uploading another video about kind of what my background is, but I just kind of want to say in this regard, I'm a physician with a background in bioethics and advocacy, spiritual self-education, and, formal education. I found my way, into a background in psychology. I did a year of family medicine training, finished a residency in preventive medicine, and then moving on to an addiction medicine fellowship. In medical school, I did a distinction in advocacy project on the topic of cannabinoid medicine, which really kind of led into this larger understanding of drug policy and mass incarceration and how that has particularly affected people of color without cause, without reason. And really, Sha'Carri Richardson has nothing to apologize for. I think, I know that it is, it's a tragedy for this hard-earned, well-earned victory to be taken away from her for something as silly as the use of cannabis, especially based on what we know about why she had used cannabis so closely before the race, even though she knew that, it was technically illegal, and not illegal because she was apparently using it in Oregon, where it is legal, even though it's a Schedule I controlled substance from the federal perspective, and that's, its whole in discussion. But she knew she wasn't supposed to do it for, in working with, the U.S. anti-doping agency. That doesn't matter to me. So especially in that context of the traumatic situation that led to her recent use of cannabis, regardless of that, even if that had not been the case, this is honestly ridiculous. And so one of the reasons I wanted to make a YouTube channel, I believe very strongly in evidence-based medicine because that's what's ethical, that's what we have evidence for, that's medical legally what I need to, the care I need to provide for my patients. From an ethical and legal perspective. But I also am very interested in other things like what I have started to term interfaith narrative cosmology. I don't, it really is, a belief to a degree in astrology, a loose, poetic understanding of having that be kind of the other side of the coin of science, being faith. And what I think is a nice unifying way to look at faith is through the lens of cosmology, because that really does seem to be a symbol that resonates for cultures and religions across and different people of races and ethnicities over time. And so I have an interest in tarot. I have an interest in astrology and things like that. And so that is just kind of what's going on as well. And so being able to talk about both sides of that in sort of, I guess, a less sophisticated academic way, but something that I have found to kind of show itself to have an amount of truth over and again. I like to talk about things in a very kind of basic sense. I like to use simple words as being the queen of the simpletons, if you want to put it that way. But I'm actually a very intelligent person, but I believe in talking to people like they're people, no matter what kind of education or background or whatever that you come from, and keeping humor and lightness and art and poetry as part of this discussion, and not always talking from a strictly academic plane. So I just kind of want to say that it's a devastation that this is being taken away from her. She has nothing to be sorry for. And that is really mostly what I want to say. I can't even imagine what she must be feeling right now. There's no evidence that what she did is morally or ethically wrong to any degree. I think it's really interesting when it comes to cannabis use that when that history of its demonization kind of, an episode fits the story of that demonization, we, really latch onto it about it makes you lazy and it makes you stupid, and, all these other things that have been said about it over time that we now say, people used to say it makes you aggressive. Now people say that it makes you not participate in your life at all, neither of which are true. But, when we see a story like this, one of the fastest women in the entire world, I assume this was not her first time using cannabis, I don't know, but, if she uses cannabis, even regardless of how frequently, really to a degree, based on the evidence that we have about, smoked, eaten cannabis use over thousands and thousands of years throughout different cultures for different purposes, medicinal, entheogenic, or spiritual, just because people like it for their own pleasure and comfort, for socialization, regardless of, how much she has used it or when she has used it, she's one of the fastest women in the world. But now people aren't going to now people are just saying that it's ethically and morally wrong that she did it, especially because she wasn't supposed to do it. And so that really kind of brings in, legality versus ethics and morality and things like that. But no one's going to say that, using cannabis now makes you the fastest person in the world, because it doesn't fit this narrative of its demonization. So I just want to, if she ever sees this, whoever sees this, just apologize to her that this is the experience that she's going through. It is absolutely tied historically to suppression of people of color and immigrants, and the intersectionality of identity, being a Black woman, and recently, which I just found out yesterday, that she's maybe also a queer woman. I think that might be true as well. So the intersectionality of being a Black woman who is also queer, that just puts this intensified, compounded spotlight on her that other people don't have to face, regardless, let alone when you're a public figure who has, this tremendous fan base. There are petitions going around. If you guys can find them, I would really recommend signing to, tell the Olympic Committee that this is ridiculous to ban her from her race for something like this. This was not a performance-enhancing drug. It's pretty much as if she had, drank some alcohol or smoked some cigarettes, and actually far more healthy for her. And anyone who debates that, as long as there's safe access, not pesticides, it's not, laced, with more harmful substances. Cannabis is safer than alcohol and tobacco, which are legal substances. And what's being done to her right now is a history of racism and discrimination, and the law that benefits white people and harms people of color, fuels the incarceration system for profit. And I really hope that the Olympic Committee makes a different choice here, because this is malevolent action to stop Sha'Carri Richardson from taking part in the Olympic trials when she won fair and square. And if anything, she won extra because, we do know that, if cannabis is going to do anything, it's going to make you a little bit more relaxed, a little bit, it can give you more relaxation in your muscles. And so it's kind of like the fact that you still fast when this narrative around cannabis is that it makes you slow and lazy. It's like we should even like applaud her more for how just wonderful and strong and brilliant and passionate of a spirit that she is. If anything, and I'm not even saying this is the direction we should take it, but if anything, we should praise her more in this context, and not take away a hard-fought and hard-won dream from her. And I am ready to, actively debate anyone who would say that, she actually deserves to be stripped of this honor that she well deserved. So, to Sha'Carri Richardson, I'm so sorry that this is happening. I hope that this stimulates a conversation that overturns the decision, not just for the future, but now. You deserve to run this race. I know that you already know that, and you really don't have anything to apologize for anyone. Keep doing you. Just a brilliant, bright, shining star of a spirit, and I wish you all the best.